WWE Games seems like they're going to be holding off this week because of the full launch of Borderlands 3, but that doesn't mean that I can't bring you some more rumours from King Moe. Now, of course, it's been a little while since we've done this, but if you are new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe for more WWE 2K20 news and rumours as they do come out. We're covering for everything from official to unofficial this year once again, and hopefully there should be a little few tidbits in here. There is, of course, some other things that I want to talk about as well, but let's just jump straight into these rumours. Now, a lot of these rumours, there are only 4 of them, do cover the Women's Evolution story mode this year for the showcase. Now, of course, there are a lot of questions regarding this. There seems to be quite a few questions regarding attires and characters, how many models there's going to be, but let's just jump straight in. Cameron Stan has asked, please answer me, does Alicia Fox have her Night of Champions manager gear included in the game? And King Moe has said yes. The source watched a finalised cutscene of a showcase match she's involved in and says she's wearing Team Bella themed attire parts during the duration of it, which seems to confirm that Alicia Fox will actually come with her Team Bella attire. The next question comes from G, and it asks, are the women's models different characters like Daniel Bryan from 13 last year, or can we use their models as alternate attires for their base model, like how Lana and Maria could be their original hairstyle, or switch to the manager model on the same model? King Moe has answered, and he said he's asked, and at this moment it's both attires and models. For example, in the second previous build of the game, there was a selection of alternate attires spread across a lesser amount of models under Charlotte Flair based on date relevancy and notable contrast in her looks. Now, this is what I was saying when I saw a tweet out there that said there would be 10 different models of Charlotte Flair. Now, this is, of course, a fallacy. It's not true. There's not going to be 10 different versions of Charlotte Flair. It's not necessary. There will probably be a 3, possibly 4 at the maximum versions of Charlotte Flair. Now, the reason for that is because obviously her stats are vastly different compared to what they were in previous years. So NXT version of Charlotte is definitely not going to be anywhere near as good as the current version of Charlotte. So you can understand the changes in the stats would require this. Now, a lot of people seem to be upset about the fact about the way that we do get various character models throughout the years and how their stats are different. For me, I'm not bothered about this. I don't mind that, and a lot of people say that they take up the extra roster spots. They don't. They're just there. They're just extra people. Maybe it's the way that you don't like them presented. Maybe you just want to select, for instance, Triple H, and then instead of scrolling up and down to select somebody else, you then scroll left or right to actually select which year or model you want of Triple H, and that's it. But that's just how that's presented. This is basically saying that Charlotte Flair will have 3 to 4 different models, which is what I'm guessing at least anyway, and that there'll be various attires spread across those models depending on how vastly different she looks, which, let's face it, from NXT to the main roster, that's kind of where she stopped looking so different, and you know, I'm guessing maybe 3, 4 at the max models for Charlotte. The next question that is on there for King Moe is any word on whether or not a double champ will wear both belts during their entrance like in 2K14. King Moe says that they've mocapped animation cutscenes with 2 titles held simultaneously, but he's unaware of it being worn in actual entrances. Now, of course, we did have Becky 2 belts during this time period, which seems to indicate that they would likely bring back double championship entrances this year. I know that I would certainly like to see this return, and it was in previous games. Let's face it, if you can win 2 championship belts like Seth Rollins and many other people, including Becky Lynch, have done throughout the years, then why should we not be able to do that in WWE 2K20? I say it should definitely be back in the game, and more than likely because of Becky's win, it will make a return this year. Moving on to the last question that I have on here that I will tell you about, there is King Moe being asked, is it safe to assume that we got a lot, truly a lot, of alternate attires / models for the characters in the showcase? And he said yes, there's lots of variations listed, and they take up a good amount of the unlockables he sees listed for the game. Now, I've also seen a lot of people question whether or not these unlockables are going to be completely in the game, whether they need the accelerator. You will be able to buy the accelerator, which will unlock everything from the start. That is just an accepted piece of software that just comes with the game. It's an accepted part of the DLC. You either earn it or you just buy it straight off the whim. You know, you don't have to worry about unlocking everything through the game. Personally, I like unlocking everything rather than buying the accelerator because I kind of feel like I've achieved something, but that's completely down to you. I prefer to go out and actually do the whole unlockable thing. That's kind of an achievement for me. I enjoy it. But there's got a lot of other things that we're going to talk about now as well, obviously. I did speak to Charlotte last year at the press event for WWE 2K19, and when I did speak to her, I did ask her what if she could pick 3 matches, or a few matches, that would be in her showcase mode, what would they be? And funnily enough, all of the matches that were in her showcase mode that she picked are in the showcase mode this year.
Possibility of a 2K showcase. If you were to pick 3 matches from your career that could be in a showcase, what would you pick? Which ones?
My NXT Women's Championship match, me versus Natalya, when I won the Divas Championship and came the last Divas Champion versus Nikki Bella, and then when I won the Raw Women's Championship, WrestleMania 32.
Yeah, so it's safe to say that there will more than likely be a lot of these matches that they have picked themselves. They've probably had some input into the showcase itself, which is of course something that was fantastic to hear. Another thing about this as well is that, of course, because we do have this Women's Evolution, we have the My Career mode and we have mixed tag teams this year. I would say it's pretty safe to assume that this year's My Career mode will include at some point in it a WWE Mixed Match Challenge in there for you to participate in with the other half of the created characters, which seems to me, if I'm just thinking logically, that's more than likely going to happen, that this may be a case of you play as both people, maybe one. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that something like that probably will happen down the line. This is purely conjecture on my part. I can't say this is 100%, but it would make logical sense that this year you would see a mixed match challenge in WWE 2K20's My Career mode. Now, of course, there's a lot of other things to cover this year. Still, we are waiting for the roster reveal, and I don't think that's going to be coming out this week. I think it's going to be very light on news this week. We may get an entrance, but I don't expect anything serious this week. I expect that to be coming after Borderlands has actually released, because 2K tend to go pretty heavy with their marketing upon release for whatever game is going to be coming out at that point. But now with NBA out, and now also Borderlands dropping in the next few days, that means that WWE 2K will have the sole focus of the marketing department, which means that we should see a massive increase in information, hopefully. Not too much though, because I personally want to bring you some of that information myself, so hopefully this year I will be invited back to the press event. We'll have to see, but thankfully this is pretty much everything that is going on at the moment. I will bring you more news as soon as I actually have anything. Of course, you know, guys, I will bring you everything that I know. I'll bring you everything that I have when it comes to WWE 2K20, and I will catch you in the next video.